an influence on us.
You know what? As a matter of fact, I mean, it seems like the more children we have, the further generations come up, they get more distant. We had things that we did, but it was a common factor that we knew we were not supposed to put a mark on our body. When we were coming up, that was something that our mothers and I guess that they knew and they brought with them. And for some reason, it caught up with us, and we knew we were not supposed to put a mark on our body. We knew that. And that didn't mean you went to church every Sunday or, on that day when we didn't know no better.
Brothers and sisters, our nation was strong in the ways of the Most High. Our men knew you couldn't be feminine.
Yeah, that was not.
We knew that. What has happened? The demons are let out. They're running rampant.
They are running rampant. It says, and he cleanseth his mind, that he may not be condemned by men as well as by the Most High. And in like manner, the works of Beliar are twofold, and there is no singleness in them.
Confusion. The works of Beliar, the liar, is twofold. You're either hot or you're cold with the Most High. There's no in between.
Right.
Okay? Come on, prophet.
Therefore, my children, I tell you, flee the malice of Beliar. For he giveth a sword to them that obey him, and the sword is the mother of 7 evils. First, the mind conceiveth through Beliar, and first there is bloodshed. Secondly, ruin. Thirdly, tribulation. Fourthly, exile.
Listen to this. Listen to this. This is what he's saying. Look what Benjamin's saying.
Fifth, you ready?
Right back in chapter 7, right there, the first verse. Therefore, my children, I tell you, flee malice of Beliar, for he giveth a sword to them that obey him. Who has the sword now?
Oh, Islam. Is it Islam?
Edom. Don't Edom
rule with the sword? Oh, you mean the rule? Oh, okay. Yeah.
They rule with the sword. Look what's going on. Remember now, they exiled. They didn't have a land.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Come on. We go down and we use that, Father.
Okay. And the sword is the mother of 7 evils. First, the mind conceiveth through
They
Beliar.
crazy with the mind.
And then first, there is bloodshed. Secondly, ruin. Thirdly, tribulation. And fourthly, exile. Fifthly, dearth. And sixthly, panic. And seventhly, destruction.
The wages of sin is death. It leads to destruction. They kill everything with the sword. They exile. They ruin everything. Come on, prophet.
Therefore was Cain also delivered over to 7 vengeances by the Most High God our power. For in every 100 years the Most High brought 1 plague upon him.
Now, see, you didn't know this. There was a plague delivered to Cain, and every year?
Every 100 years, the Most High brought 1 plague upon him. And so that also helps you to know that they're not talking about Cain. They're talking about his heritage, his generations. His bloodline. His bloodline is everything. You're not taking. So when they said, like we was talking about, oh, they died off. That's a lie. And the truth ain't in them. That is that they did not die off.
They maybe changed their name.
Right.
Ain't no Ironwater Indians name no more. But there's some people called Maroon.
And they love to change names. That's how everything's so mixed up now. So, and when he was 200, he was 200 years old, he began to suffer. And in the 900th year, he was destroyed. Okay. For on account of Abel, his brother, with all the evils was he judged. But Lamech was 70 times 7. Because forever those who are like Cain in envy and hatred of brethren shall be punished with the same judgment. That's right. Better watch yourself talking about it's sibling rivalry. You better not have it. Don't you have it? Don't come near it. Run, flee. Chapter 8
was 70 times 7. How many times Christ said forgive your brother?
70 times 7.
70 times 7. That's technically until the return of Christ. Keep forgiving them. Come on.
And do ye, my children, Flee evil doing, envy, and hatred of brethren, and cleave to goodness and love. He that hath a pure mind in love looketh not after a woman with a view to fornication. For he hath no defilement in his heart, because the Spirit of the Most High resteth upon him. For as the sun is not defiled by shining on dung and mire, but rather drieth up both and driveth away the evil smell. So also the pure mind, though encompassed by the defilements of earth, rather cleanseth them in and is not itself defiled.
Now I like how Benjamin's saying it, because it's a problem when I'm using this as a reference right here, that every time a man looks upon a woman, why is he looking upon her with lust? There's something wrong with you. You can have pure love for people and look at people. What's going on? That's evil. And the same thing go for a woman. Every time you look at a man other than your husband, why are you lusting for this man? You can love people for who they are.
And that means something was wrong with your eye. You need to pluck that out.
There's something wrong.
Eye is sinning against you, take that out. Or do as he said, you shouldn't be looking after a woman with a view of fornication, or a man, just like you said.
You don't have a pure mind, right, Prophet? Read verse 8 again, Prophet.
And do ye, my children, flee from doing evil, from doing envy, flee evil doing, envy and hatred of brethren.
And hatred of, number one, hatred of brethren.
And cleave to goodness and love.
And love.
He that hath a pure mind in love.
Go ahead.
That's the part. He that has a pure mind in love looketh not after a woman with a view to fornication. For he hath no defilement in his heart, because the Spirit of the Most High resteth upon him.
See, the Spirit of the Most High got to rest upon you for you to look at people in
the right manner.
Exactly.
For as the sun is not defiled, as the sun, meaning the sun in the sky, that burns down and heats up, as the sun is not defiled by shining on manure and dirt, that's what dung and mire are, but rather drieth up both and driveth away the evil smell. It's terrible. So also the pure mind, though encompassed by the defilements of the earth, rather cleanseth them and is not itself defiled.
All praises.
That's good. I believe that there will be also evil doings among you.
Now, Benjamin said, I believe now that there will also be evil doings among you, his children. Come on.
From the words of Enoch, the righteous, that ye shall commit fornication with the fornication of Sodom and shall perish.
Brothers and sisters, this is why we read the book of Enoch. The patriots, this is not the only patriot that referred to the book of Enoch. They had literature from Enoch telling them what they should be doing, how to live.
Absolutely.
He left a testament. Come on, prophet.
All save a few, and shall renew wanton deeds with women, and the kingdom of the Most High shall not be among you. For straightway he shall take it away. Nevertheless, the temple of the Most High shall be in your portion, and the last temple shall be more glorious than the first. And the 12 tribes shall be gathered together there, and all the Gentiles unto the Most High shall send forth his salvation in the visitation of an only begotten prophet.
Of an only begotten what?
Prophet.
Christ came in an order like a prophet. The only begotten prophet.
And it seems like every patriarch spoke of him. Everyone knew about that. The only begotten prophet. And he shall enter into the first temple, and there shall the Most High be treated with outrage. Well, wait a minute. Yeah. And there shall the Lord be treated with outrage, and he shall be lifted up upon a tree. Okay, so yeah, it's the Yeshaya. So there shall Yeshaya be treated with outrage, and he shall be lifted up upon a tree. And the veil of the temple.
How do you see that? The veil was the curtain covering the most holy of holies. The veil of the temple, when Christ was crucified, split from the top down.
Yep. And the veil of the temple shall be rent, and the Spirit of the Most High God, our power, shall pass on to the Gentiles as fire poured forth. And he shall ascend from Hades, and shall pass from earth into heaven. And I know how lowly he shall be upon the earth, and how glorious in heaven.
And how glorious in heaven. So Christ died. He went down to Hades to talk and free people. And he went to heaven. Benjamin saw that. What kind of gift he was given.
Wow.
And he said, "What? I know how what? Glorious?
And I know how lowly he shall be upon earth, and how glorious in heaven."
Man, this is the only begotten prophet from the Most High. The only begotten son of the Most High sent.
That's so interesting, because especially that he makes a comparison between earth and heaven. You know, when we do the Lord's Prayer, that will be done on earth as it is in heaven. That just lets you know that it's not being done. Because if this is Yeshua, our Savior, he wasn't glorified. He was beaten, and it was a time for that because he needed to pay for our wickedness. But he was placed lowly, how lowly upon the earth, and how glorious in heaven. That's something.
Ain't that something?
Chapter 10. Now when Joseph was in Egypt, I longed to see his figure and the form of his countenance. And through the prayers of Jacob, my father, I saw him. While awake in the daytime, even his entire figure exactly as he was. And that had to be something, because they're 12 years apart. So he had got lost up by that time, wasn't he? By the time he was born. And when he had said these things, he said unto them, Know ye therefore, my children, that I am dying. Do ye therefore truth and righteousness, each one to his neighbor, and judgment unto confirmation, and keep the law of the Most High.
Keep the what?
Keep the law of the Most High and his commandments.
How many times they got to be uttered in our ears, in our spirit?
Until somebody
keep the law. The Most High said, the prophets saying it, the patriots are saying it, I'm saying it. Keep the law of the Most High.
That big black thing they carrying and holding up on that video is saying it. Killed by the law enforcement. Keep the law. If you keep the law, your name wouldn't have been on that list.
Your name wouldn't have been on that list.
And keep the law of the Most High and his commandments. For these things do I leave you instead of inheritance. No, it is inheritance. I'm a firm believer. These things I leave you instead of in inheritance. Do ye also therefore give them to your children for an everlasting possession. For so did both Abraham and Isaac and Jacob. For all these things they gave us for an inheritance, saying, keep the commandments of the Most High, until Yeshua shall reveal his salvation to all Gentiles. And then shall you see Enoch, Noah, and Shem, and Abraham, and Isaac, and Jacob rising on the right hand in gladness.
Now these were the forefathers. Look,
those who carried it. He didn't say Japheth.
He didn't say Japheth. He didn't say Japheth.
Or Ham.
This was before Isaiah, Jeremiah, Malachi. This is before that. This was his forefathers. Read them again.
And then shall you see Enoch, Noah, Shem, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, rising on the right hand in gladness. Then shall we also rise, each one over our tribe, worshiping the King of heaven, who appeared upon earth in the form of a man in humility. And as many as believe on him on earth shall rejoice with him. So, we stop there because so many are struggling with, oh, well, that ain't the one I know. That ain't the Jesus. You understand, you worship the right one. You just under the wrong name, and they're giving it the wrong the whole wrong scenario, wrong day.
They gave you a day to worship him, a picture and a name. That's wrong.
And all that's wrong. No images should you have.
No images.
You changing the days. They changed it. 325, they changed the Sabbath. We're going to do Sunday. And you got to research that, because there's nothing, the Most High don't worship
the Christianity Christ that they're giving you is false.
But you can hear his description in this patriarch talking. You know good and well when I speak those words. He says, then in verse 7, then shall we also rise, each one over our tribe. That's key. Understand that. He's giving in specifics. Go to Revelation. You see the tribes listed out. That's got to connect. You can't be disconnected. Worshiping the King of heaven, who appeared upon earth in the form of a man in humility. You know exactly who that is.
The King of heaven. Christ is the King.
Yeah.
The Father is the God of heaven.
Yeah.
Christ is the King. He came in the form of a man in humility for us.
And as many as believe on him,
Christ, the Messiah,